let's get fucking started. Oh, by the way, today's episode of Goku or Go Home actually has a sponsor deal, so give me 1 second. Today's Goku or Go Home is brought to you by D's Nuts. Nobody makes salted nuts like Mama D, so when you want a salty snack, pop D's Nuts in your mouth.
Oh my god, I knew it.
Welcome, everyone, back to Goku or Go Home. My name is Alex, and I got a booster shot today, so I wonder when that's going to hit me, if at all, during the recording.
And I'm Phoup, guys. I was one of the guys who got a message sent to him saying he got shot when I woke up.
I sent a text to my friends and family that, all caps, I've been shot! That's right, I got my booster shot today, and I am feeling great.
It was a good way to start the day. I'll say that. and by the way, my day started at 2 p.m. today.
That's about when I got my shot, so.
Yeah.
Like, both my parents were like, do not ever text me in all caps saying that you've been shot. And I'm like, still got him, though. If you haven't been with us since the beginning, Goku or Go Home is an episode-by-episode recap of the original Funimation dub of Dragon Ball for me, but it is also Phoup's first time viewing the show, and so far, how would you rank this show as far as anime go that you've seen?
Oh, man, I am terrible when it comes to rating stuff, because I don't know what to say most of the time when I rate stuff or what to look for. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I just don't, you know?
If someone were to ask
I'm
me...
a simpleton. If I like Dragon Ball, then it's probably going to be like a 10 out of 10. But if I start nitpicking, maybe you'll get like a little bit more of a specific number.
I know exactly how that feels. People come up to me and they ask me, Alex, what's your top 5 favorite movies? And I blank and I go, oh, what's a movie? So I either have to have that list already made before someone asks, or I just go like, the first SpongeBob SquarePants movie? Fuck!
Actually, I'm kind of going through a Pokemon phase. I think I probably said this or mentioned this in the last episode, but I was talking to my brother about this, and I think one of my favorite movies is probably when the Pokemons play hide and go seek with each other. If you've ever watched it.
Oh, wasn't that one of the shorts before Pokemon 2000, was it?
I don't know.
It's an older one, though, isn't it?
I had a bunch of Pokemon movies as a kid, and they were in like cassettes or like, yeah, and that's what I used to entertain myself before internet or cable.
Oh, I was talking with someone earlier who is 23, 22, somewhere in that range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yes, they also, I brought up, I had these cassette tape, or the VHS cassettes, and they said, what the hell is that? And I'm like, no, I'm not old.
Really? I remember.
No, I remember now. I remember it was like, they ended up saying that they saw this one Lego movie 10 years ago, and that was a blast in the past. And I said, 10 years ago, I was in high school? I was like, oh.
Oh, it's okay. They were good. Those are good times because I was able to physically hold them, you know. I kind of like having hard copies of stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's way preferred over digital-only stuff, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I think digital is nice to keep things clean, but I'm kind of sentimental about some stuff if I really like it. I would like to keep it physical. For example, there are people out there who keep their older consoles, like their PlayStation 1 and their PlayStation 2, just having it there.
Oh, yeah, those old consoles. Those old consoles, PlayStation 1 and 2. Yeah, I totally don't have my NES and Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis still. That's not old. And B still has, B's dad had an Atari for the longest time, like the first Atari. For the longest time. I don't believe he still has it.
Okay, that'd be pretty cool though.
We're getting off topic.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
We're talking about Dragon Ball today. Episodes 29 through 32. And last time I said I was excited because I do not remember these episodes whatsoever. For whatever reason, like, they completely skip my mind. And so from now on, this is kind of a surprise for me. You'd
Okay.
think that, I saw this when I was a kid, and I saw it probably when I was starting college, and then a couple of years ago I watched through the entire series again. So I've seen it all the way through 3 times, and this will be my 4th time all the way through. And for whatever reason,
It's just it's just not in your
it's
memory.
it's like it's like a blur. Like I remember key points from this arc,
Hmm.
but this entire set here, these 4 episodes, none of it.
It's okay. I can relate to that because of some series, like older series and stuff, they just tend to just blend and merge together as you get older, you know?
I think one of the reasons why I'm a little scrambled on Dragon Ball is the last time I watched through the 130 some odd episodes of Dragon Ball, immediately afterwards, I jumped into Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, I started watching all of Dragon Ball Z too. I'm like, oh, this is bad. That's a lot. But right now, we are currently at episode 29, which is The Roaming Lake.
Mm-hmm.
And we pick up where we left off last time. The tournament is now over. Jackie Chun is the champion. And the gang are all about to head their separate ways. Goku and Krillin are going to go back to train more with Master Roshi. That's what they want to do, at least. But he says that they should get life experience next, prompting Goku to say that he's going to go looking for the 4-star Dragon Ball. So it's been at least a year since the wish was made on the original set of Dragon Balls, because they separated and they went dormant.
Mm-hmm.
So I suppose there's been 8 months where they've been training. I could see them squeezing in 4 months here and there.
Oh yeah. Sometimes you just don't know how much time passes by, especially when you're working on something. A tournament could have probably been like, I don't know, a week or 2.
That's the thing, though.
Maybe
I think the tournament
fight
only
itself.
lasted like a weekend.
Yeah. I feel like training, not just the training, but they also had to travel and stuff too, to the training grounds and stuff.
And they also had to find Launch.
Yeah, that too.
Remember Launch? I miss Launch.
I remember Launch. I really like Launch. Where the hell's the turtle?
Where the hell is the turtle? Still on vacation, I think.
I think he's actually gonna. Does he ever show up in the series again?
He comes back sometime.
Oh,
Whether or not it's in the original series, I sure hope he does. I missed the turtle.
But I know in these set of episodes, I know who does come back though.
There's quite a few people that come back in this set, so
Yeah.
it's nice that the 4-star ball means so much to Goku that he's willing to only go. These balls grant wishes, but he doesn't care about that. He just wants the 4-star ball because that's what Grandpa left him.
Oh yeah, like I said, with the sentimental stuff, with the old stuff, that it just means something, you know.
Yeah.
And when I was watching this, I actually thought back how Goku was gonna react with the Dragon Balls dispersing. I think he just knew it wasn't gonna be an issue because I didn't see any reaction that expressed like any kind of anger or frustration. I don't know if Bulma felt guilty though.
I don't think Bulma felt guilty about it at all, to be completely honest. However, no, I think you're right. I think Goku, deep down, maybe he knew that some way or another, that 4-star ball was going to come back to him.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe all it takes is another search.
Yeah, and I think that means a lot. That's really mature in a way. You know what I mean?
It's very endearing of Goku
Mm-hmm.
to not care about the wish and only want the memory of his grandpa.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Krillin doesn't know what a Dragon Ball is, and Goku just calls it a magic ball my grandpa once gave me. That's it, nothing else. So he's just like, oh, okay.
I mean, you can't really ask for more than that, to be honest, unless you want like the full details. But he did ask, what is the Dragon Ball?
Hey, ask dumb questions, get dumb answers, I guess. What's a Dragon Ball? Oh, it's the name of the show. Fuck off, Goku. Just fuck off. Goku wants to head out on his own, but Roshi is really, really pushing to have Krillin come along. But Krillin wants to go back to the island to train so he can score big at the next tournament.
Yeah,
Roshi is not happy about this because
really
he
cool.
also wants to score big in 4 quotes. I am calling this the return to the Kame House Love Shack.
Before we go there, I actually watched this first episode with my mom. Because I was like eating dinner, right? The other day, and I was like, "Oh, I want to watch this on the big screen." So I hooked up my laptop to the TV, and as you know, Master Roshi was talking about scoring big. Remind me if I'm moving a little too fast, if there's anything. But he was like daydreaming about his date with Launch once he gets back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's doing his old sage laugh and
Prospector.
prospector laugh. They hit the champagne bottles.
Oh yeah.
And then he goes to a store. Or no, before he even enters the store, he's outside of a window.
Yeah. I've got
doing
plenty
his
of notes.
prospector and he's doing his prospector laugh, and I'm like, what is he laughing about? And then it pans over. There's a big bright panties in the window. It's like when you walk by Victoria's Secret store and they have all the underwear and all the very attractive girls like modeling with them and stuff.
And they've got
pictures.
They've got like the pictures that are like 8 feet tall. Like the pictures are huge.
and my mom, and during the scene, I'm watching this with my mom, right? He goes in and it's like, oh look, there's bras, there's panties everywhere. My mom's like, what are we watching?
Man, you really rolled the dice on getting a bad show or a bad episode. It's just Master Roshi just going full perv mode. In front of my own mother during dinner. Hey, you know what you just said? Master Roshi went full perv mode in front of my mother. And you know what? That's canonical. He would.
Yeah. But what's even crazier was like, my mom has never watched Dragon Ball, right? Mm-hmm. But it shows the art style, because my mom was like, I remember watching cartoons like this, because they were, the art style was very similar in a way. But back then, my mom actually had to watch it on a TV, so it was black and white.
Wow, okay.
So it's not like it was that old, I would say, but that was just what
the
they
TV
had
that
back
they
then.
had was black and
Back
white.
then, yeah. But even though it was black and white, my mom was still she wasn't able to express it, but she knew the art style was the same from that era,
That's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah. She's like, it's not like how they animate now. It just, this is like nostalgic. Like she knew this is what she watched. Yeah.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
I do have a couple of notes before that sequence happens, so I'm gonna dial it back just a little bit.
Oh, that's fine, man. I knew you'd love that.
Oh yeah, no, that was fantastic. Yeah, Master Roshi has been pent up for literal months. Okay, he needs these kids to leave. Goku points to a box and asks if it has his things in it, prompting Roshi to teach him what a suitcase is. And
I forgot.
Goku is just enamored by the modern world, and Krillin says that he really needs to get out more. Goku rifles through the suitcase and says, "There's a lot of magazines in here." And knowing Master Roshi, we both know what those magazines are. And he even goes, you gotta go, we gotta close this up. So Goku flies off on the Nimbus, and everyone else is worried about him being safe, and he's gonna be all alone in this big world. And Roshi says, "Oh, he's a special boy, very special." I like the grunt at the end. Everyone agrees. With Goku off to find his 4-star ball, the rest of the gang go through the desert. They're driving in a car, and apparently it sucks because Bulma is more irritable than usual.
I don't even know why.
She was just angry.
She was just angry, but I was like, why is she angry? Is it because the road just sucks?
I thought maybe...
Was it Yamcha's driving? Was it Yamcha himself?
You didn't fucking win the tournament, Yamcha. I'm gonna fucking kill you. Maybe it was a combination of everything. Maybe there was something in the original Japanese that didn't get translated over. But she's not happy in this episode. Meanwhile, Krillin is standing on a street corner, having an ice cream while he waits for Master Roshi. And yes, this is where he's just going ham at this woman's underwear store.
Krillin, he's like standing on the side of the road with his ice cream, and he's still in his very nice suit with his hat.
Oh yeah, he's looking
It's like,
sharp.
oh, where's Master Roshi? He's kind of late or something. Is this another one of his tests? And then he licks, and it does a quick cut to Master Roshi staring at the underwear.
And he says, satin, lace, little straps. I bet you they have the kind that you can eat too. And it's been a while. It's been a while, but it's good to have classic Roshi back.
Mm-hmm.
We had him training, and the tournament didn't give a lot of opportunity to have this Roshi, but now that it's the downtime, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
He tries to calm himself and be more responsible, but then he remembers that he'd launch a souvenir, so he goes in and tries to get the clerk to try them on for him. He gets hit in the face, but it looks like he kind of likes it.
I mean, that's as much physical contact he got from a woman after how long?
He didn't get a chance to fight Ranfan after all, so.
Oh, Ranfan, I thought was still a pretty cool character, I'd say. Maybe it was just her outfit. I just appreciate the outfits that they have for everyone in this series.
She had a very unique look. She had that big floofy purple hair that stood out in a way that I don't think any other character has. But speaking of old characters, or characters that we've previously seen, we cut back to fucking Nam. And I'm like, holy shit, Nam's back already.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
And I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm good with this. He's here to deliver the water to his village like the hero he is.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought a bunch of fucking water. The capsule that he got had 2 giant tanks just filled to the brim. And he gives a little recap of how things turned out at the tournament, in case you forgot. But people are just happy to have the water.
Yeah, no, that was the end goal,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the end goal for... And not just that, what makes it even better is that now they actually know how to find water consistently. They don't actually have to...
They just go to the city with this...
Yeah, with the capsule. No, that was actually the other story my mom told me too. She's like, yeah, didn't you know your grandpa used to make me walk across the jungle with a couple buckets to go pick up some water? I'm like, holy shit, Mom.
My mom's family from Pennsylvania, they lived in the mountains, and they actually had a well, like a natural spring well, that you had to go fill up a huge jug and bring it back to the house, and it was like a mile away, and...
Oh, I don't know how far it was, but for my mom, damn, did they have to walk?
No, oh. they threw it in the back of the truck or whatever, and they would drive.
Oh, okay.
But what was really funny about that well was, you think of a well.
Yeah.
What do you see?
The typical well you see in any series. It's either the one from The Ring or the one that you'll see in the Wishing Well.
Well, unfortunately, it is not that. It was a bathtub in the middle of the woods with a big pipe coming out.
I guess you gotta make do with what you got, yeah?
It was one of those, we'll call it rustically reclaimed wells. Nam's people explains that the drought that they've been experiencing has never been this severe before, and something unnatural must be happening, because the entire river that has flown past their village is just fucking gone.
Yeah, guys, they panned out, and this empty river was huge.
I'm like, how do you just lose a river?
It was like the Mississippi River just suddenly dried up.
like dry. What was it, cracked? I want to say it was cracked.
It was like going through like a desertification.
Yes.
Like that's how bad it was. But even though it panned out, you can see towards the end of the river, you could see a little bit of greenery if you notice that. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't completely dead, But goddamn, there was a lot of desert.
Yep, there's a lot of desert. Nam's, who I can only assume father? He calls him my boy. Anyway, Nam's old man tells him a story of the mysterious roaming lake, and it inspires Nam to go on an adventure of his own to find it. And I thought, fuck yeah, Nam adventure! You have no idea how excited I actually got. Like, I was sitting there kind of like fists clenched, shaking them a little bit.
Oh, wow.
As he roams the desert, he gets attacked by the fucking dinosaur from the first episode.
I actually was like, holy shit. And my mom heard me. She's like, it's just a dinosaur. I'm like, Mom, this is not just a dinosaur. This is a dinosaur I keep seeing. Reoccurring.
And it's got the same voice, too. Like, the first one, we were like, oh, well, maybe it's just another of his species or whatever. He didn't have a speaking role. He just kind of turned around and looked at the camera. This one, he talks, and he's got the same, like, you look like you could be my dinner. And I'm just like, it's the same fucking guy. Nam tries to use his aerial attack, but the dinosaur throws him off and captures him.
Yeah, steel winged him.
Too easily, in my opinion. Nam should have gotten, like, a couple of hits in. Meanwhile, Goku comes across an oasis and he immediately soils the pure water by dunking his naked ass in that sumbitch for fun. Now,
I always like oasis scenes
Mm-hmm.
because, in my opinion, they're probably one of the most beautiful sceneries that I come to like and always see in animations and series I watch. But what's even funnier is that when Goku was butt naked, my mom was like, damn, that reminds me of my little boy Benoy, which is my younger brother. Because it was really funny because every time my mom saw Goku do something, it was always just something that she like saw a little bit in us as kids too.
Phoup, I think we might need to get your mom in on this every week as well. I would love to hear more stories from her.
Oh man, she was like, oh, look at the Goku's little butt. It reminds me of your little brother when he was younger.
Tail and all. What? While Goku is chilling out, maxing and relaxing in his oasis, he sees Nam being carried overhead, and you hear him complaining. He's like, "Let me go, you bird brain! You're making me really mad. I need to get this water for my people." And I just like hearing off in the distance Nam complaining about things. Because, you know, he's always so composed and quiet and stoic. So just to hear him going like, "You fucking bitch! I'll murder you!"
Hands off me!
Yeah. Goku hops on the Nimbus once again and uses his power pole to crack the dude's skull crest thing, just like the first time. And before they all crash on the ground, Goku catches Nam on the Nimbus, and Nam can ride the Nimbus!
Yeah, that I noticed too. And I was like, that is sick.
Nam is based! You know, I use being able to ride the Nimbus as like a morality gauge, but like, you know, you always felt that Nam was a good guy, and this kind of proves it.
Oh, yeah. It reminded me of another thing, too. Towards the beginning of this episode, they were talking about that Goku should really take someone with them, right? Mm-hmm. And they're like, and everyone's like, "Oh, why don't you just take Krillin?" And
yeah,
and then it's like, "Yeah, Goku, why don't I come along?" Goku's just straight like, "You can't ride the Nimbus, remember Krillin?"
Oh, yeah.
And Krillin's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot."
No, Krillin, you're an asshole. Oh, you're right, I am an asshole. Another thing, the dinosaur, when it crashes into the ground, it makes like one of those Looney Tune holes where it's in the shape of the dinosaur.
My mom actually predicted that too. She's like, they'll never die. Watch, they're just gonna end up in a hole and not die. and I was like, I wouldn't be surprised. And then it saw this hole that this dinosaur made was huge.
Oh, but while they're on the Nimbus, Goku's back on his old shit. He just reaches for Nam's crotch and goes, "Hey, you are a boy. It's hard to tell sometimes. You can check me if you want."
Nam's just straight up, no.
Nam declines. Nam says, "Just as a point of reference, in my village, we greet each other by shaking hands." Just so you're aware. Meanwhile, Yamcha's car is broken down since we last saw them, and they're out of gas. They goad Oolong into changing into a big beach umbrella, and Puar turns into a fan, and they say, "Wow, this is much better. Beats baking in the sun." And Oolong goes, "Yep, that's me. Bacon in the sun." Which is a perfect line.
Yeah.
And immediately we cut back to Goku. Like, One thing that I point out in this set of episodes is there's a lot going on, and we bounce back and forth between characters, I think a little too much. I think I brought this up in the first episode, because they introduced Pilaf in a sequence that goes on for like 30 seconds, and then we're back to Goku. And
no, we did talk about that.
And I have the same feelings towards it. I think I would like it better if we spent more time with each person, or we cut one of these scenes out, or there's a solution in here, but I think that this could use just a little retooling. But we are back with Goku and Nam, and they follow the dry river until eventually they find the source, which has been dammed up by Girin's people, proving that they're all assholes.
I actually like Girin a little bit after this, though. I'm not gonna lie, just a little bit.
After this episode is over, Girin is much better than he was, but at this point I was like, is it just in their nature to be evil douchebags?
I think they are just bastards.
Yeah, Nam is on his knees. He is pleading with these dudes, and it's getting nowhere. They kick him over, and he's like, okay, I guess violence is all you people fucking understand, and he throws one of them to the ground. They all try to gang up on Nam, so that's when Goku jumps in, and they pile on him too, but Goku's just way too strong for any of this nonsense, and he blows them all back.
Yeah, there's like 6 of them, if you can remember how big these guys are.
Girin and his people are thick, meaty boys.
Yeah, like think of like King K. Rool of wings.
Yeah, that's actually like a perfect, and Goku is like Diddy Kong size.
Yeah.
Compared to these guys.
And as Goku like shoved these guys off, this is when Girin shows up. He's like, hey, what's going on over here?
What's going on over here? You fucking gabagoos.
And they're like, hey, boss.
Yeah, they treat him like he's their boss, and he's like, boss, we found this twerp here trying to fuck with our dam and everything. And he's like, this twerp beat me in the tournament. You're gonna show him some respect.
Yeah, and the
I'll
word
show you some respect up the back of your head.
the word respect coming out of Girin, that was pretty cool in my opinion.
Yeah. And he asks Goku what they're doing here, and Goku's like, oh, we're here to unblock the dam. And he goes, yeah, I would if I could. Like, legitimately, you want it? All right, fine, I'll do it. I respect you, but I can't. It's the dam's held together with their merry-go-round gum.
Yeah,
but we've seen Goku bust. Yeah,
I knew instantly that wasn't gonna mean anything to Goku.
With a single Kamehameha, Goku destroys the dam.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's in a pretty good mood about it. Like, when they they did a flyover of the dam before, and they had, like, Girin's people, all these dinosaur dudes, splashing each other in the water of the basin.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd think that, oh, our swimming pool, you broke it. But no, everyone's like, yeah, good job, Goku, you did it.
Yeah, I think it was because Girin was cool with it. And if you weren't cool with it, you weren't cool with Girin.
I suppose.
Yeah.
If Girin's the biggest and toughest guy there, then probably.
Yeah. And I just appreciated Girin was like, he really did it. Like, he wanted to see it break. He wanted to, like, it was like, yeah, I want to see you break this, Goku.
This is where I say, I guess Girin's not such a bad guy at the end of the day. I'd ask why he wants the tournament money in the first place, but also the other guy that Nam first talked to, he was telling Nam that his villagers should just pay them for water. Like, do they just want money to have money?
I think it was either that, it was like just a straight up insult because he knew they did have money.
Oh, I see. He's like, yeah, you want it, pay for it. You know that we don't have it, you ass. I can see that happening.
Yeah, but I guess Girin is like he's like an asshole, but like I guess when it comes to when there's someone stronger than you, he'll show respect.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a warrior mentality or something like that.
Might makes right sort of deal.
Yeah, yeah, like that.
No, I can see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was a really cool episode, in my opinion. It was a very happy. Like, I was smiling a lot in this episode.
As everyone's rejoicing at the return of the river, a storm rolls through, and we kind of cut to see Bulma's side of things at first. In a little exchange, we learn that Puar can hold her shape much longer than Oolong can, since he's a transformation school dropout. And I did theorize this early on, I'm like, does Oolong have a timer? How long can Puar stay in the shape for? Is it because that he didn't finish his schooling? Yes, we have
This
confirmation
confirmed it.
that he's a dropout and therefore sucks.
He got expelled for like stealing the paper the first semester, the very first semester.
Yep, he stole his teacher's papers, and that's what got him kicked out. The storm also rolls through Nam's village and just straight up steals the water from the river. Like, I was wondering how this even worked. Like, there is a spring upstream, the river comes down past the village, but a storm rolls through, and now there's no river. And these guys just can't catch a break.
I didn't ask any questions, but you're making me think. I saw the scene because like there's two things: either enough sand got kicked into the river to bury the water, or the wind literally just carried the water.
But the point is, the river would just kind of reflow with the spring and everything. But you're right. I might be thinking too deeply into things, and it's Dragon Ball. We got Dragon Ball logic. At this point in time, I looked at the timer and I thought, oh, geez, they got to wrap things up pretty quickly here if they want to keep this episode contained. And sure enough, what luck, Goku sees a sparkle on the horizon and flies off towards it, and it turns out that oasis that Goku found earlier was the roaming lake. And Nam's people rejoice because they've been saved. I mean, this lake will leave. It's not a permanent solution by any means. It's called the roaming lake. But I mean, hey, we gotta close this episode out now. There's no time for anything else. The ending shot of the episode is Yamcha's car appearing from a mound of sand, and they all pile out of it to reveal that they've been blown back to the tournament grounds, meaning that they've wasted their time and ours.
Did they say where this group was headed to, or were they just gonna go live life?
They were gonna go back to West City, I believe, wherever Bulma's from. The city that Bulma and Yamcha were in before.
Okay. I think I just missed it if they mentioned it, yeah.
They did mention that they're going to go back to the city, like at the very, very beginning of the episode. That's why they're splitting ways. I felt that this episode was kind of rushed, if you ask me. Like, they wanted to include more parts than they had time for, and if I were the editor, I think I would cut the Bulma and Yamcha scenes because they don't really do anything for their character. Like, Bulma's angry. Why? I don't know. They get lost in the desert, and then they're literally back to where they started at the very beginning. Like, those scenes could have been removed, and we could have stretched out, like, the Goku meets Giran again, or Nam again, or I don't know why they felt the need to split it up the way that they did. Like I said, there's a solution in here somewhere for me. I think I might care a little too much.
I was personally fine with it. I didn't care too much. I don't think it was rushed at all. Well, I mean, I could see it being rushed, but maybe it's because I'm just so used to how much can happen in an episode,
You're right. The first episode, you're like, there's so much shit that's happened in here. I was expecting this to be an entire set of episodes of content in the first episode, or like an entire season's worth of jokes, but they just kept coming.
Yeah, just nonstop. And
maybe the tournament episodes were a little slower and more contained because you had one location, two characters fighting. They didn't have to jump as much.
Yeah, I guess it's just changing the pace, picking it up, trying to get us to maybe ease us into something maybe even faster, and then slow it down for something else once it gets like to another peak.
Because there are parts of this arc that I remember very vividly, and in the next set of episodes, there is one of those sequences, and so I think when it does slow down like that, yeah, that's when those are the parts that I remember about this, and these faster ones maybe are what's glossing over in my mind. Okay. However, it was nice to see Nam again, so I can't really complain too much.
Got to know about Nam, more about his people, and like kind of like their backstory with the village. Even like the village chief or Nam's dad, not too sure who he is still. Even talked about his dad talking about the roaming roaming lake?
Yep.
Yeah. And
so yeah, you get lore about the world.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like a nice epilogue to the tournament while starting up the new story that we have going on.
Mm-hmm. And I'll mention this, guys. Like this new story picks up pretty fast after this.
Like I said,
and this is what I mean by picking up the pace.
Mm-hmm.
Cause shit is like gets a lot of happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the next episode where things start to really pick up, episode 30, Pilaf and the Mystery Force. And I saw the title, I'm like, oh hey, shit, yeah, Pilaf's back in the mix. I hope Shu and Mai are along for the ride too, so we can get shenanigans again. And it's a very sudden way to start off episode 30. It's a dark room filled with cigar smoke. There's this real evil purple-looking cat thing. The heavy narration introduces us to this faceless mob boss dude who only says, "Kill him." And it's like a really far cry from what we're used to.
I didn't think too much about it. I was just looking at the thing on his lap.
The little purple cat.
I was like, is this what Puar would look like if she had rabies?
It had red eyes, and it was like... like, there's no getting around it. This is an evil dude.
I did not get a good look at the evil dude. I just kept staring at that thing on his lap.
Well, that's the thing. They deliberately hide the identity of the owner of the cat. Like, you only see, like, a hand holding the cigar, or you see a hand come up and pet the cat on his lap, or whatever. They hide the face.
Yeah, I wouldn't notice because I didn't even look.
We cut back to Goku flying over some nice scenery, but the narrator warns him to watch where he's going before immediately running into a rock and falling off the Nimbus. It legitimately looks like he, because there's the spikes on the bottom, he almost gets impaled like he got uppercutted on that one Mortal Kombat stage.
Mm-hmm.
Like the pit, I think it's called. But before he does, the Nimbus manages to save him at the last second.
Always rely on the Nimbus if you're good at heart.
If you're good at heart, the Nimbus is your friend. It's the sentient cloud.
Mm-hmm.
The narrator recaps that Goku lived a sheltered life with Grandpa Gohan. He doesn't know jack shit, and he is enamored with the world around him. A little late for that explanation, my dude, but well deserved. It does another hard cut to Giant Ape Goku smashing and destroying Pilaf's castle, where it's revealed that Pilaf is having a nightmare on his floor, and he's got a nice fuzzy pink slipper on his face, and he thinks that he's being squashed. And Shu returns!
Yeah, I was happy about this. I was like, if I ever get a dog, Mom, I'm gonna name him Shu.
Oh, it's great. I missed him. I missed his dumbass voice. Pilaf wakes up and he tries to play it off like he wasn't just pissing himself, and Shu says, "Don't worry, sire. Crying is very therapeutic." Never change, Shu.
Yeah.
After a bonk on the head with his slipper, Shu tells Pilaf that they found a Dragon Ball nearby, and Pilaf gushes to a poster of the dragon, and I kind of really want this poster. Like, the dragon is cuter than usual.
Mm-hmm.
It's very nice. I want it. While Pilaf fawns over it, Shu thinks that he's talking to him and makes a fool of himself. He's like, "Oh, well, thank you, sire. I didn't know that you felt that way about me."
It's pretty classic.
And so Pilaf tries to whack him with the slipper again, but Shu is now more competent than ever because he's able to block the blow with a sword clap. But then is bonked again after a compliment. He's like, "Oh, nice work. Oh, why, thank you, sire." And then hit in the head.
Oh, man.
A real Three Stooges moment.
Yeah, but even I feel annoyed for Shu for how Pilaf treats him sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Pilaf is easily the worst member of the Pilaf gang.
It's like, because Pilaf, he's not like the most evil, I would say, but he's like that one annoying kid in class that always wants to be right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's met some kid like this. And, like, has nothing to back it up either. Like,
so like I won't say I would hate Pilaf, but like you kind of annoying Pilaf.
Pilaf opens the curtains and then opens the window to laugh out into the world, but is immediately sucked out into the sky, where it's revealed that he has a new castle, a flying castle, which is real cool.
I was sick, but I was not gonna. I was hella confused that whole time.
Sucked out.
I was like, yeah. as Pilaf is making a speech, he goes to the window and he's like, "I will get the 7 Dragon Balls and I will become the ruler this world deserves."
Mm-hmm.
Or along those lines. Opens the window and gets sucks out. And before he like blows away, he was able to grab one of the curtains, and at the other end it's Shu. He's holding onto the curtain. And even Shu was annoyed at this. He's like, "Sire, you weren't supposed to open the window, and you know that."
We told you not to do it, and you did it anyway. Oh, I wish that they would start giving him shit more often, but they don't, unfortunately. Yeah, doesn't he get hit with like a table or something?
He gets hit by like a table or like one of the doors.
Yeah, he gets
and
sucked
what's even
out.
funnier too, because Shu makes a really like cartoony face as the door hits him. Like his teeth are all like crooked and like all over the place. His one eye's looking up and one eye's looking down, and the camera's like panned on it too, like zoomed in.
Yep.
So the moment my sister turns around, her desk is like right by the TV in a way. She was playing Overwatch. She turns around and sees the face, and she's like, "Why are you always watching stupid shit like this?"
No, it's based. It's not stupid. You're stupid. Don't be cringe.
And Pilaf ends up kind of saving himself in a way.
He tries to crawl back in, I remember, but we kind of cut away from that. The camera pans down, and you see a small military battalion rolling through, and there's this real smug guy in a blue trench coat. You see him just for a moment, but that's about it. And these dudes are important, so don't forget about them. And we are also introduced to a Ragamuffin street urchin. This character is not important. He doesn't even have a name. I looked it up.
Oh. Really?
Yep, and I was just like, wow, they are really just wiping the slate clean and saying, fuck the old characters. You're getting a million new ones. Deal with it.
I just was like, oh, look, it's one of those, he reminds me of those homeless people from Yakuza.
Where they got the thick-looking coats and he had like a newsboy hat.
Yeah, and one of his shoes had like a hole in it.
Yep, everything's held together by tape, and he's just disgustingly dirty. Also, I paused my video to take notes, and the exact frame that I paused on was for the next shot. A naked Goku skydiving into the water, except he's far away and in extremely low detail, so he's just this like pinkish blob that's vaguely Goku shaped. And like I want to say that I stopped, took my note, went to get like a glass of water or something to drink, and I came back down, I sat down like, yep, that's what I'm watching. Goku's got his stuff folded up in a nice neat pile on the edge of the lake that he's swimming in and relaxing in, and the street urchin steals all of it. His clothes, his power pole, his food, even the dragon radar. And Goku takes off on the Nimbus looking to try to find, who could have taken it. I wonder who has it. And he gets probably the best idea he's ever had.
It was extremely clever.
I don't think I would have thought to do this.
I didn't think of anything. I was actually just hoping that they would just make Goku just naked for the whole episode, just for the hell
one of those episodes like, oh, I've lost my clothes. I don't think that would work for Goku though, because he doesn't seem to care.
No, that's the thing. I think that's why it would work, because he wouldn't care.
if it was a Krillin centered episode and he lost his clothes, maybe that would be like, oh, I got to figure out how to get around while covering my ass. But yes,
because in that sense, it would only affect Krillin because he's the naked. But it's the other way around. Goku would affect the people around him for being naked. They'd be like, "Good golly, there's a naked child in town, Martha."
Good heavens. That's most unorthodox. Goku
so that's what I was kind of hoping for.
Goku does not stay naked for a majority of this episode. He has the best idea he's ever had, in my opinion. He says, "Power pole extend," and he's in the sky overlooking this forest, and it works. The power pole just springs up into the sky and notifies Goku of its location. So he's able to get all of his stuff back except for the dragon radar.
And what's crazy is he has to command it to extend multiple times as if it doesn't hear him. It doesn't show up immediately. He's like, "Do you hear me, pole? Power pole extend." So
is the pole also... Well, it's an enchanted pole. I get that. Could anyone say power pole extend? Is Goku like the one true user of the power pole? I figured you had to be holding the pole and then giving it the command.
I just assume it was kind of like a magical item, like the Nimbus.
Mm-hmm.
But like, how do I explain this? You know how in like Disney, there's some like items that just are just alive, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but they kind of have like a conscience of their own. That's how I kind of imagine these guys. They
The
won't
Nimbus,
always
yes.
listen
The
to you.
power pole, I guess, showed no signs of this before now.
Yeah. It's hard to say with the power pole, but I'm kind of putting them in that kind of category at the moment, you know?
Right now, I'm gonna say the power pole is an enchanted item tuned specifically to Goku and his wishes.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm gonna leave that one. But yes, while there is not a Goku-centric episode, there is a lot of Goku being naked in the start of this episode, to the point where I got curious enough to see how they would have gotten around it, like censor-wise. Because every other instance of nudity is either covered or documented in some way on the wiki. Like, they have list of Dragon Ball censorships.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. I just assumed they didn't care because it was Goku.
Nope, they actually, in the original Toonami airing of the episode in the mid or early 2000s, they would cut an episode, they would cut a scene in a certain way, cut it early so you don't see his junk, or crop it in a way so it's more zoomed in on his face, or draw over it with like a plant or a stool. So I looked this up, and what do I find? Nothing. As far as I can tell, this episode ran unedited, cock and balls on full display. Which is weird. Like, I looked it up, I looked at the air date and said, oh, it aired in 2001 or 2002 on Toonami, and I'm like, this one? Anyway, in his haste to get away, the thief lost a shoe. So Goku sniffs it and is repelled by the big stinky energy coming off of it. But since Goku is a dog, he can just follow his nose and track down the thief to get his radar back.
When he got all his other stuff but the radar, he was just sniffing around, and he's like, I guess I'll just follow the smell.
Yep. And this kid is just so stinky that he knows how to follow it.
Oh man, like I thought they were just over exaggerating it until they found the kid. Or at least they showed the kid again in another scene.
Mm-hmm.
And they described him being like onions.
Quite odorous.
Yeah. Now, I don't know about you. I'm kind of... maybe they were going for more like, instead of onions, because like, I work with onions a lot too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I think they were trying to go for like a rancid smell, like something rotten.
Well, he did explain, he gets some money back, and he says something along the lines of, oh yeah, no more onion sandwiches for this guy. So maybe he ate so much onions that he started to smell like onions.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that would make sense. Okay.
But, and maybe just the onion smell was so strong for Goku that his sensitive dog nose just couldn't handle it. Who can say? Meanwhile, Mai is back with Pilaf, walking through this dope-ass cowboy town. I adore this place. It's full of sombreros and cacti and cowboy hats and ponchos. And it also holds one of the Dragon Balls, too. That's what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, the army dudes from before roll up on some family's house and barge in. Their leader in this blue jacket comes in, and he is a smooth talker. Like, he's got this, yeah, I'm kind of smarmy. Don't worry, I'm not going to kill you yet. You know, he says that they're looking for the Dragon Balls as well. And when they don't have it, he just orders his men to destroy everything. Like, they're setting him up to be the bad guy who is no nonsense right out of the gate.
Yeah, he was a very no nonsense type of character, but he also had some pretty, I would say, interesting lines for his character as well. Because I think in this building, as they're destroying, before they started destroying stuff, he said something along the lines of, "It's such a shame to raise a child in a broken home."
Oh yeah,
as they tear up everything, and as they're tearing up everything, he leaves the building, and you can still see the windows breaking from inside and stuff.
Yeah, like they either shoot the window out or they throw something through it, and I'm just like, oh wow, that's a hard line.
Mm-hmm. It was a pretty hard line. It was kind of like it kind of reminded me of the series Peaky Blinders, if you know that series.
It sounds familiar, but I've never actually watched it.
Okay, I haven't watched it either. I want to as well, but Peaky, I see a couple clips and it looks interesting. I think it was like it's like some kind of mafia type of series, and they're a no nonsense type of deal either.
With the name
Yeah.
Peaky Blinders.
Hmm.
But this set really does have a million things happening at the same time, because now that that homeless kid, he comes up to a store owner and he tries to sell the Dragon Radar, and the store owner's like, "Back off, kid, you stink." He's blunt, and I kind of like that, but this dude's just a creep. Like, he's clearly all about money, and he offers the
I
kid
didn't
10
like this guy
zenny for the
either.
Dragon Radar, and tells him to beat
Yeah.
it after their transaction's complete. Fucking hate this guy.
Yeah, I did not get a good feeling of this guy. I didn't like him. He's someone I'd be avoiding.
I got total scumbag. Aside from shortchanging the thief for the radar, he greets Pilaf by telling him a bullshit story about a crown that he put on, saying that it was owned by Alexander the Great.
Complete bull.
Like, scam
And
artist asshole.
and Pilaf, this guy's feeding into Pilaf's ego, and he's like, "Oh, I need one. I'm an emperor."
Well, at first, though, it seems like he doesn't quite fall for it, because he's like, he checks the tag just to make sure, and he goes, "According to this label, this nickname must have been Ralph."
Oh, you're right.
So he doesn't quite fall for it at first, but, like, at the very slightest kind of hesitation, the shop owner goes, "Oh, well, come inside. I've got things fit for a king, you see. I've got other things, much, much better things." And, kind of draws him in, and, like, yeah, he's a total sap, and he falls for it, but he gets him into the shop, and Goku tracks down the stinky thief, and this scene is bullshit. When Goku tracks down that stinky thief, we established a long time ago that Master Roshi, Goku, and Krillin can all run super fast. How is this little shit outrunning Goku to the point where he has to throw the power pole at him? Not only did he could just extend the power pole at him, but no, he just hurts the power pole at him. And
I don't know. Maybe Goku didn't want to go all out. I don't know. I knew that as well, but I felt like that would have been too easy. But little did I know he was going to hurl the pole either.
And it just, like, it
Did you
stabs
hear the sound it made when it hit the tree?
it stabs into the cactus. It sounds legitimately like you're breaking a rock. Like, it's just like... And he threatens the information out of this kid. Meanwhile, back at the shop, Pilaf lets it slip that he's looking for something of monumental power, something that can help him rule the world, and Maya's not happy about it.
No,
she's super aware of everything that's going on.
Yeah. She's the smartest one in the group. But
She
also, I
says-
think it was also like even Pilaf was like, I expect perfection from everyone. Yet Pilaf is kind of going against that. I would have been annoyed.
Yeah, she says something like, "Oh, why don't you just, like, advertise it on a billboard? What we're doing."
Yeah.
here."
I think before they even went into the shop, Pilaf was always mentioning that they don't have time for nonsense like this, and then
That's right.
and then
Nonsense happens.
yeah, nonsense then happens, and Mai tries to remind her, "We don't have time, sir." And she's like, "There's always time when it comes to the king or something."
Yep. The Emperor.
This bastard, just shoot him, Mai.
She can't do anything to stop Pilaf from falling for the shop owner's bullshit. He pulls out a Dragon Ball, and Pilaf exclaims, "You were right, Mai!" And she very quietly says, "Thanks, I usually am, sir." I missed Mai.
Yeah.
He dumps hundreds of thousands of zenny into this absolute criminal's hands.
Cold hard cash.
It's just bills.
Just stacks. Yeah.
Like, all 100s, I want to say. But it just dawned on me. Is Pilaf a legitimate emperor? Like, he has to be, right? How else would he have these resources? He's got the money, he's got the castle, he's got the men, he's got the munitions,
I think he's just really rich, and when you're that rich, you can get to the point where you can call yourself whatever you want. I remember watching an interview of Elon Musk talking about this because in a company, there are certain positions you need to actually like legally fill out to form a company or a nonprofit organization, regardless whether it is or not.
Hmm.
But at a certain point, you can just put in different roles and just name it whatever you want.
God King.
Yeah. and and then Elon was like, he came up with a pretty cool title for himself, but it was pretty funny. But it kind of just shows how much you can do when you have money too.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's what
I'm
I think Pilaf is.
the Dragon Ball world's Elon Musk. Sure, sure. We can call him a little blue gremlin. That's the absolute worst. Sure. Your words, not mine.
No, I'm not calling him Elon Musk. If I had to compare him
Fine,
to someone,
fine. If you
it'd
want to
be
call
like
Elon Musk Emperor Pilaf,
be like the closest rich bastard in a series would be Bling Bling Boy from Johnny Test. if you've ever watched that.
I'm semi-aware of Bling Bling Boy, so that'll work for me.
Okay. This he was I don't know. Great show, guys. In my opinion. I thought it was pretty funny. It came I think it'd be kind of cringe now in a way. Oh, what the heck is this? I just searched up Bling Bling Boy, and this is like one of the first pictures I see in Google Images.
Oh, let's see what we got here. Oh shit! It's Bling Bling Boy kicking Goku. His B's are backwards. It's a mirrored image.
It is backwards.
Oh my god. What luck that it ended up being a Dragon Ball picture too.
I know.
Mai and Pilaf walk out at the exact same time that Goku comes in, and they all scream at each other. Pilaf panics, but Mai, being the only competent agent, just starts blasting with no hesitation. She just pulls a gun and just unloads the clip. Doesn't actually hit Goku, but
nah.
I like the initiative.
They were close. Yeah, I understand Pilaf being afraid after what he literally has PTSD of a monkey.
If you've ever been in a monkey attack, our sincerest condolences, because like that would be legitimately terrifying.
Like even Pilaf looks at Goku and's like, "You monster!"
Yeah. They run away. Goku gives chase, but he's overtaken by the flying castle. It just straight up looks like a Death Star with extra little Death Star balls attached to it.
Mm-hmm. It's like an atom.
Yeah. And it has a big ol' hand. Like, a big ol' arm comes down and grabs onto Mai and Pilaf, and that's how they get into the ship. It is one big white glove away from being, like, a silly contraption. Like, it just needs a Mickey Mouse glove.
Oh, man. No, I meant more like a molecule. I'd say it's just like one big ball of sticks holding on to more balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes off into the sky and Goku gives chase on the Nimbus, and I really like the next scene where Mai gets suspicious. Like, she's reading the dragon radar and she says, "Sir?" And Pilaf reacts in the wrong direction. And she quietly and calmly has to tell him, "Sir, I'm over here."
I love it. This, like, some people may say that this type of thing is useless, but this adds character. That's, personality.
It's a different thing than what we were experiencing in the tournament. Like, if it was all just fighting and all just the tournament, you'd get bored of it pretty dang quickly. I think that the tournament was the perfect size for what it needed to be, and now we're back on the hunt for a Dragon Ball. So, it's good stuff. The signal that Mai's reading says that the Dragon Ball is not on the ship, leading to the reveal that the scummy shop dude has a shit ton of fakes in the back of the shop.
Yeah, that blew my mind because this dude already knew either he was like, "Oh, this is a shiny rock." Like diamonds, right? Diamonds are valuable. He's like, "This was so great. It's a gem." It's either he was going with that type of mindset, or he knew the value behind a Dragon Ball.
Like he actually knows what a Dragon Ball is.
Yeah, but if not, then the latter would also be fine. Because like, who wouldn't buy? Like, there's plenty of people out there buying diamonds.
Shiny orange sphere.
Yeah.
The military dude comes in and he tries to scam him, but the military dude's just too smart and he just casually drops the ball, revealing a detail about the Dragon Balls that I don't remember if I touched upon it. They are unbreakable.
They don't break.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that one, actually.
Yeah.
Which made it even better, because that means this guy knows. And he's like, he just confidently drops it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's just like he's palming it, and then he gently lets it roll out off the side of his hand, and then it shatters.
Mm-hmm.
The guy in the jacket literally calls the shop owner's wares crap.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, I did not expect to hear the word crap in Dragon Ball. It's weird because, we hear the word, like, pervert. So why wouldn't crap be on, like, the same level of, like, ooh, that's not a word that you say in front of children.
I feel like children say that word all the time, don't they?
I know.
But then again, I guess it's in a way, like, trying to make the guy seem more bad than he is, by using this. Because if everyone said crap, how bad really is the word,
That's true. This guy is pretty bad. It stood out to me that he said the word crap.
Mm-hmm.
The camera pulls out of the shop and reveals that there is a real Dragon Ball in a bird's nest above the shop. So everyone is just lucky that the radar is pointing to his place that has the fakes. The military guys start to make their move, so the shop owner reaches for a gun, and before he even is able to pull the trigger, the head honcho plugs him 3 times without even trying.
Yeah.
I kind of really like this guy.
No,
he's ruthless and effective.
Mm-hmm. He's the complete opposite from Pilaf's group.
That's true.
Which is a good contrast,
You got 2 bad guys.
Now you got 2 bad guys. You got multiple groups going after Dragon Balls, and they all bring something different to the table.
And Goku just wants the 4-star.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, these 2 factions want to make wishes, but
eventually they're going to have to get through Goku.
Right.
If they want that. Which I know. Goku won't let happen so easily, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to make a note of this as well. I don't think we've seen just a straight-up murder on screen in Dragon Ball yet, have we?
Not like in this episode. Not with this no nonsense, man. He's
we've seen attempts.
Take you out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've seen attempts, but this guy just drops, and under no uncertain circumstances do they attempt to say he'll be out for a while or hide it. This guy's just dead.
Mm-hmm.
He deserved it. But yeah, he's just fucking dead. The birds in the nest hear the shots and they fly off with the real ball while the military guys wreck shop. And the narrator closes us out and calls the bad guys a mysterious military unit. So they're doing a good job of keeping their real name a secret, but to the trained eye, they've actually been leaving clues. At the very beginning of the episode, when we first see their battalion driving along, they have their logo on the side of their vehicles. And their leader has a little bit of a clue on him as well.
Okay. I wasn't paying too much attention to that. But once we get to the name,
the little
you can
designs,
tell me.
And
Yeah.
Again, I think that they're trying to cram a little too much into these episodes. The homeless stinky kid didn't have a name. Remember, I looked him up. And neither did the asshole salesman. So forgive me if I did not care about that dude totally eating it. I was happy to see him go. I'm like, okay, fuck that guy. I'm glad that we're done with this bullshit. Yeah, that stinky kid never shows up again.
Yeah, he got shot too by a pole.
we'll pretend that he also died. Yeah, okay.
But I don't think the kid was too bad of a character. He's like one of those kids just trying to get by the day.
And maybe if we spent more time with him, that would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
But he's really irrelevant in the greater scheme.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that he should stay. I'm just saying as long as he doesn't turn out like the merchant, I think he'll turn out okay.
I'm so glad that we have these character rankings of morality, and that even though this military guy totally murdered him, somehow the merchant is still below him.
Well, in a way, I kind of how I feel with it. They're both pretty bad guys, right? Mm-hmm. And bad guys usually tend to associate with each other. So It's just bad guy on bad guy action.
Ooh, some hot villain on villain action.
Yeah. So I think regardless, eventually it'll be your turn to go when you're in that type of business, I'd say.
And you don't know how right you are, but we'll
Hmm.
have to get to that in a later episode.
Oh, really? Okay. I have
Uh,
no idea what you're talking about. I'm
yep.
not gonna lie.
And we'll get into episode 31. And starting this one up before I actually give the episode title, I need to say this note here because it caught me really off guard.
Okay.
They give a recap of what happened in the last episode. Goku's chasing a fake ball. Pilaf learned that it was a fake. The real ball is carried off by a bird. And the narrator ends it off by grimly saying that everything went to chaos as the military guy opened fire and killed a man. You know, the narrator goes like, and that mysterious military man ended another man's life. And then
Yeah.
the title card comes up and it plays that uplifting mystical adventure theme. It just says in big bold letters, wedding plans? So yeah, it was like all like dark and somber and then ba 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 da da ba 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 da wedding plans. I was like, okay. I paused it, I got my laugh out, I made the note, and I said, all right, moving on.
I'm always so envious watching Goku ride the Nimbus because I'm kind of like an adrenaline junkie myself, and man, it must feel good riding that.
It looks freeing. Anytime they do like a nice aerial view, it always seems like, oh wow, the world is his oyster. I wish the world was my oyster.
Because like I've rode planes before. They go hella fast. They go hella high, but it's just not the same, as
You
going
want-
down a hill on a longboard, going like 60 miles per hour down a hill.
You want to feel the wind on your face. You want to
Yeah.
you want to have the danger of actually dying.
Yeah, and Goku was riding the Nimbus off into where was he headed to again? He was chasing the fortress.
He was chasing Pilaf, yes.
Yeah.
For no reason. The ball's not even there, but he doesn't know that.
Yeah, Goku doesn't know that. Pilaf is probably like, oh shit.
He just found out
We
because he
have
accidentally
a
dropped
monkey.
it.
Yeah, he accidentally dropped it, and he's gonna be like, oh shit, we have an angry monkey chasing us for no reason now.
If he finds out that we broke that ball,
Ragnarok is about to start again.
I bet that Pilaf thinks that Goku can turn to a giant ape on command.
Yeah, I think so too. That's all he sees Goku. Like when he sees Goku, he just sees a giant shadow of an ape behind him.
Yeah. Oh.
Obviously, Shu and Mai don't seem that afraid, for obvious reasons.
They seem more afraid of Pilaf than anything.
Maybe it's more emotional.
Those poor guys, they gotta get out of there.
Yeah, pretty bad environment.
The episode proper starts up with a mysterious figure looking at a big radar that seems to be able to track Dragon Balls as well. And someone tells him that it's leaving Colonel Silver's search area, which gives us the military dude's name. And I love the naming convention of all the characters in this military unit. And their leader, who is eating meat off the bone, which always looks delicious, by the way,
Yeah.
says,
I go for it.
he says in a thick Scottish accent, "Let him know immediately." And anytime I write something like a quote, I always write it phonetically, so I have kind of like a note on how it sounds. And I have let apostrophe I M know KNOUGH, and then immediately is spelled EEMEEDITLY. Immediately. Let him know immediately.
Oh man.
Scratch that though. The meat is for the cat thing that sits in his lap.
But no, it's pretty fun going full Neanderthal on like food sometimes,
So good.
Like,
I just want to try it.
I can use a fork and a knife, but sometimes just being able to like eat the meat like that is just satisfying in itself too.
Listen, if God didn't want you to eat meat off the bone like that, then he wouldn't have given animals neat little handles. Either way, he wants the Dragon Balls so he can rule the world. So yes, now there is 2 Earth-conquering dictators chasing the balls in this arc.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, you know how those dictators, they're always chasing those balls. We cut back to Colonel Silver, and I just want to talk about his outfit for a second. He's got this blue duster jacket, which looks amazing, a red ascot, and no shirt.
Hold on. Well, let me search up a picture here.
Colonel Silver.
Yeah, let's see here. Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought he had the red bandana on his arm, like all the other soldiers, but it's actually around his neck.
Yep, he has that red ascot there.
Yeah.
And that's the hint of the name of the military force. You know, everyone has these red bands on them, and he's got a nice big red ascot scarf thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's no shirt, showing off his abs, looking real fierce.
I, for some reason, for a split second, thought he had like really big V-neck going on.
A really big V-neck.
Yeah. But
I don't think he would look bad in a V-neck. I think that would actually be a pretty good addition, but
I don't know. For some reason, it was in my mind for like a split second.
You just know, though. You see that design, and you just know that, like, he gets in a fight, that jacket's coming off like it's a Yakuza cutscene.
Yeah, that is going to be sick. If he does that, that would be sick. I love those scenes.
That's how you know shit's going down.
Yeah, always.
Just like in real life. You ever seen someone get into a street fight in real life and they just take off the shirt?
But it's not as cool as Yakuza though.
Well, yeah, no one's got back tattoos like that.
Oh man, just a little bit off topic with Yakuza. A bit of a spoiler, or if you care about that stuff, you know how Yakuzas get tattoos and stuff. I love how they paid attention to that detail because in the beginning the tattoo is actually not done.
Yep.
And like I haven't played the other games. But if you see enough Yakuza memes and enough Yakuza in general with how big the game is, you can see it's complete. So I like that. Just a little off topic.
Yeah, in that series, every important character that has that sequence where they take off their shirt and they get into a fight, it always shows off their tattoos, and there's always another meaning behind the tattoos based off of, you know, the character's ideals. And I just finished playing Yakuza 6. And there's a fight in that one where a character, he takes off his jacket and it shows his back and there's nothing there. And it's because he's a jackass who says, he's like, Yakuza ideals, those are for losers. Yakuza is about making money, not ideals. And you just want to pound the shit out of him.
Interesting. I kind of like that, to be honest. A different perspective.
Yeah, fuck
really?
That guy, though.
Okay. I like the idea that there's another perspective, you know, but interesting. I think my favorite tattoo is probably going to be either Goro
Majima,
or Kuze.
Kuze's pretty tight.
Because if I knew what his was immediately, it was like a judge. Someone that will judge you. And that's basically what he does throughout the game. He's judging Kiryu. Okay. Anyways, I thought Colonel Silver.
He's got the look that you like.
I like the look. You know, I like him more because of how you said that he'll throw off his jacket.
You just know it's coming.
Is this? I don't know what kind of look this is though. Is this more of like a cowboy look though?
Honestly, when I first saw him, I kind of made the comparison. He reminds me if a more muscular Spike from Cowboy Bebop had a long jacket instead of like a dress coat.
Okay.
Doesn't he have kind of that look to him?
I can see that, yeah.
His hair's kind of ruffled and messy like that. If he was more jacked, obviously. No, it's a good look. I do like it.
I'm down with the gloves. I like how his sleeves are rolled up. I actually like to roll up my sleeves as well when I'm working.
Stylish.
Yeah, I would not be confident to show off my abs for my do not exist. It's just
you would not be confident enough to only wear like a small red scarf and a jacket.
Yeah, I mean, I'd at least have like a t-shirt on. You'd only see ribs of me, guys. I'm a pretty.
You're not getting anything
boy.
there.
Yeah.
Where's the meat? Poor Goku, though. Poor Goku.
Yeah.
He is just looking for his grandpa's ball. And that doesn't get better any more than I say it.
I swear he said that with who did he say that to in this episode? He said it to someone, and
Probably
even they were
Pilaf.
like, I think it was Pilaf. He's like, what?
Give me back my grandpa's ball. What? He doesn't realize that what he's chasing is a fake. He just thinks that his radar is broken, and he's just blindly chasing after Pilaf. And Pilaf looks out the window like he's on that one episode of The Twilight Zone, where there's the thing on the wing of the plane. And Goku's just pressed up against the window. In a huff, he unlatches the door and is sucked out just like before.
He's like, I've had enough of this kid.
And Goku uses this moment to extort the Dragon Ball from Pilaf. He threatens to let him hit the ground if he doesn't give it back to him. Goku, sweet, sweet Goku, sweet good boy Goku, is willing to let a man die here. The world has changed him. He has a taste for blood. See, this is why we need to have, like, Krillin along for the ride, or Bulma, or somebody to be like, our sweet boy Goku, no! Pilaf eventually agrees to give up his Dragon Ball, even though it's a fake. He's just like, sure, I'll give it to you, whatever. And is saved at the last second. And he's like fucking passed out from the fear. Yeah. Mai, still the only competent member of the crew, glues the ball back together while Pilaf stalls Goku. They quickly shut him out before he can ask questions or investigate the ball. They're just like, here, take it. Yep, you got it. Now you can leave. Yep, leave us alone. Bye. And in the process of speeding off, they accidentally knock the ball out of Goku's hands, and he tries to catch it before it hits the ground, and it does that thing where he does catch it, and then it breaks in his hands anyway. I honestly thought that he was going to be upset.
I thought so too.
Like, I thought that he was going to go like, oh, Grandpa, your ball, it's broken. you know, have an emotional moment, but then he doesn't seem too bothered by it. He's just like, how'd that happen?
Yeah, he kind of just shrugs it off in a way. Maybe he just knows that. Did he also know that Dragon Balls don't break?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I feel like I've asked, are Dragon Balls indestructible, or what's the status of the balls? And I would only ask that if I didn't know. Like, I feel like that would have been something that I go, okay, yeah, that helps me answer my question. So I feel like this is the first time that we've actually heard Dragon Balls can break, or they're indestructible, or whatever.
Okay. Like this, like confirming it, because we've seen those balls go through a lot of shit.
Hey, don't we know what it's like when balls go through a lot of shit? We get a sudden cutaway, and the narrator's like, hey, remember the Ox King and Chi-Chi? Well, they're here now, too. And I said, you know what? I do remember Ox King and Chi-Chi. They are here now. Chi-Chi's busy fawning over Goku and worrying that he's already forgotten about her. Unlike me, I never would have forgotten Chi-Chi and the Ox King existed. Not in this story. Not when all I've had to deal with boring characters like Launch or Jackie Chun or Nam. No, sir. I would never forget about those two. I might have forgotten about those two. The Ox King tells her to go speak with the local psychic to see if she can't find the Gokster. And it does a hard cut to Phoup's grandma.
I laughed because I was thinking that too, but I was even laughing even harder because I think I mentioned this before. My cousin Tommy, he's Hmong, so he's got some crazy stories of superstition stuff. And every time I see superstition, I just think back to him and his experience.
So, family reunions. Yeah, family reunions. Does he also sit in a smoky room while banging a small gong?
It's even more wild from what he's told me when they're doing like an exorcist. They have like
exorcism.
They got like a shaman doing like chants and stuff. They got the family rolling in with a pig tied to a pole. And then the shaman like takes a gulp of water and just spits it on everyone. And it's like I'm Laos, right? And like it's hard to explain how Tommy's really related to me in a way, but we're pretty close, so I just say he's my cousin regardless.
Yeah. Even if it's just like a family friend sort of thing.
Yeah, basically. He tells me about this, and it's always fun listening to it. Because it's always like crazy. It's pretty wild.
Phoup, don't you just hate it when the shaman comes in and does an exorcism on your family, and you're just trying to eat, and then he spits on you? What the fuck are you talking about?
Now, I don't think my family is that superstitious as the
Well,
as
you've
neck,
never
but
experienced an exorcism, so
no, I don't think we had to go that far. I don't think we're like super like hella superstitious like that, but we do like to pay memorials to family members. For
yeah.
example, my grandma likes to believe the spirit of grandpa would come visit us like once a year, so she'll get like a tray of food ready and a couple cigarettes. When I mean by a couple, I mean maybe like 3 boxes.
An offering for Grandpa, it's what he would have wanted.
Just coming to visit us for the year. Yeah, I think as far as we'll go.
Yeah, makes sense. No, I get that.
Yeah, so that's why I was losing my shit when I saw that.
Yeah, you see
with
her,
the grandma
she's
banging the
chanting.
gong with the candles, and she has the food offerings.
Her steamed buns.
Yeah, the offerings.
She sees an ant approaching them, and she says, "He's approaching." And Chi-Chi takes that as Goku will be arriving soon, and she gets excited. You know, they're gonna fall in love and get married. And Ox King's like, aren't you a bit young to get married? But Chi-Chi just knows, like, when you know, Dad. And Ox King is probably the most supportive father ever, because he does not hesitate for a fucking second. And he runs off, I've got a lot of planning to do for your wedding now. Okay, thanks, bye. Good news, everyone. There's gonna be a wedding.
Ox King's a really cool father figure.
I have all of these things in all caps.
Okay.
And like the old shaman lady, she's like, "Oh, what just happened? I hope I didn't screw something up," because she totally did not give a reading. She was just having lunch.
I don't know if that was her lunch or if that was the offering.
I think she took a bite out of it. I think it was for her. She didn't want
that. She did
that.
take a bite. She took, guys, I swear, when the grandma took the steam bun and ate it, it was hella fast too. But even after she ate it, or I swear,
I don't know what's going on with your Discord, but it's just like, brrr, brrr. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Guess we're having some technical difficulties on this one.
A little bit, yeah. I don't know. Discord's being a little bit weird. I think it's because I keep mentioning the ant. That's what it keeps disconnecting.
Oh my god! Your computer needs to be excised.
But no, I really like the Ox King being supportive
of
his daughter. But I also think it's also because it's Goku as well. He was able to see what Goku is made out of, and it's also his like best friend's like child, Gohan's kid. Yeah.
Goku has proven himself and got the Ox King's blessing just right out of the gate. Mm-hmm. Saved his daughter, got Master Roshi back to put out the fire. But that was the main thing. Put out the fire. They accomplished that. Meanwhile, Colonel Silver is in a jet to track down this damn bird that took the Dragon Ball. But right when they find it, a fucking pterodactyl eats it. The sumbitch, like that same guy, he just keeps showing up.
What's even funnier too, after he eats it, it immediately gets taken out. And me and Colonel Silver were shocked. Like, I made the same face as Colonel Silver. I was like, what just happened?
Not only, yes, he gets taken out, but he gets taken out by a fucking boulder. And he just goes down. Yeah, it turns out the Ox King just chucked that rock into the sky with enough force to knock it down, and he catches it no problem. And he's like, "Oh yeah, this will make a great feast for the wedding." Hardcore, dude.
Yeah, that reminded me of my uncle who's younger than my mom. When he was a kid, he used to hunt birds like that. He used to have a slingshot and like
hit him with rocks.
and just hit them with rocks, and that would be their lunch.
Hmm.
Except this was like Ox King didn't have a slingshot, and that was not just a rock.
You don't need a slingshot when you're the Ox King. You're that big.
Yeah, no, yeah. And then after he gets the dinosaur, he just slings it over his shoulder and just starts hauling it back.
Not only that, but he catches it as it's falling by the
Yeah,
neck.
yeah.
This wasn't like I hit a bird and I'm gonna go find it and take it home. No, it's I'm gonna see this, dinosaur flying through the sky, hit it with pinpoint accuracy, and then catch it. The dude's unstoppable. I love him.
Yeah, this guy is crazy. Even Colonel Silver knows who the Ox King is.
Yeah,
And
he doesn't fuck around.
He's like, this is gonna be harder than it should be now.
Yeah, he's like, what do we do, sir? He's like, well, let me think. This just got a lot harder. I like Colonel Silver. He makes plans, he executes, and
He's logical.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I also really like some of these aerial landscape shots because, we have a lot of these shots that are in planes and flying around above the remnants of Fire Mountain, I guess.
Mhm.
And the artists have done a really good job with the landscapes. And I think I might just, the previous sets that we've done have all been taking place at the tournament. So this is a new environment to go back to.
Mhm.
So just wanted to point that out. Really good art.
Even I was like, well, damn, the mountain's gone.
Yep. Yep, it's just gone. Pilaf appears in his Death Star, and he's sitting in an elevated chair that hangs down from the ceiling, and he demands that they get that Dragon Ball back from the Ox King. No cow man will stop me, is what he says. However, Mai and Shu know better.
Mhm. Even they're like, that's the Ox King. Do you not know who the Ox King is?
He's like,
you should.
Yeah, of course I do. You know how those stories can be inflated, right? We don't have anything to be afraid of, right? Right?
So I guess it just kind of shows if Pilaf is like an actual villain or not, because I believe that there should be like a community in this stuff, right? What if Pilaf is just a wannabe villain?
Judging by his actions, I think he is just a wannabe. He's just got nothing to back it up. I don't.
But then again, I guess it doesn't. I don't think it takes much to be a villain. You're just not in the community, I guess.
They actively keep him out. They don't invite him. I like this new and improved Ox King, though. He is very nice to all the villagers, and they all seem to like him, too. And it seems that Master Roshi really sorted him out, because he's like, oh, you big lummox, you're going around hurting people? That's not how I taught you how to do things. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry, Master. Oh, I've been a bad boy. You gotta spank me. And then Master Roshi goes, What? No! Or did that scene happened, right? I didn't just imagine that scene, right?
I think you watched the wrong episode, Alex.
Huh. Well, it all worked out in the end.
But you weren't wrong, because that was basically what Master Roshi was teaching Krillin and Goku not to abuse the power.
Yep.
But what if it was a misunderstanding on Ox King's part as well? Because what if he was just a warrior trying to find the strongest opponent?
True, he does not seem to be like the brightest bulb.
Mm-hmm. Because you don't know who's the strongest unless you fight him.
Mm-hmm.
So you just start throwing hands with everybody.
I like this rendition of the Ox King. He's good. Ox King sees the Pilaf machine approaching, and he thinks that it's Goku somehow, and they welcome him with open arms. And the scheme hatches. The shenanigans are starting to take place. They make a Goku mask, and it's got like one of the Ditto faces on it.
Even when they were like, "Oh, I have a plan," I was like, "Oh no!" And I thought they were gonna do it the Pilaf, but I laughed even harder when I found out who they were gonna choose to do it.
Yeah, they take this mask.
And they put it on Shu. And they're like, you're lucky you have a tail.
Yeah, it's the only reason why they would have made you the person, because you have a tail. And I got so excited and I got so happy. And I'm like, I love this. It means that Shu is the most important member on this mission, and he has the possibility to screw up so good. He complains that he's a terrible actor, but they tell him to keep his mouth shut because he sounds nothing like Goku. And at first I thought, like, wow, this is just so dumb. But they are right. They are about the same height, and they wouldn't know this, but Goku was wearing a blue outfit the last time he saw the Ox King. And he also has the tail. So Shu really is the best choice for this, actually.
Yeah.
Pilaf tells him not to blow it, and Shu looks really nervous about it. Like, he has a super smooth animation of his tail drooping.
That was pretty cute.
Like, it was just like, and animated on once. It had to be, because it looked fantastic. They get out of the ship, and they learn of the wedding, and already they don't know how to handle the situation. Because Mai and Pilaf, they play it off. They're like, Oxen goes, "Oh, and who might you be?" And they both at the same time go, "Oh, we're his cousins." Like dumbasses. They could have just said that they were friends, but no. Who cares Goku doesn't have a family? I feel like literally anyone that answer would have worked. And it works on the Ox King, but Ox King knows that only Grandpa Gohan was his family. So
Only family.
yeah, so if it was going to fail on anyone, it would have been him.
Yeah.
But it still works. This works. Speaking of the real Goku, he comes back into the picture looking for food, and he stops off at an apple tree for a snack, which is conveniently right next to where Chi-Chi is picking flowers for her wedding bouquet. This is great, because now we have two Gokus.
I was hoping some shenanigans would play out here soon. Like I was running through different possibilities of what could be happening.
I was kind of hoping for, oh, we've got this Goku here at the wedding, they've got this Goku here with Chi-Chi, and sometime they're gonna have to do the thing where they're in the same place. They're in the same place, but they can't be in the same place. You know, like, oh, this one enters the door at the same time as the other one exits, and they're like, oh, I thought you were going to get this one tray of food or whatever. Oh, sure, I'll go get that. And then they come back, and they're always just missing each other. And I'm like, oh,
the
fuck.
doppelganger effect.
Yeah. No, Goku meets Chi-Chi again, and some nice music plays, and the lights reflecting off the lake, and it looks really nice. And this is clearly a romantic moment for Chi-Chi, but Goku just doesn't understand anything about romance, and he's oblivious to the whole thing. She even jokingly swats him for being such a kidder, but she actually hits him really hard and sends him flying back into the tree. And Chi-Chi is strong. She claims she needs to be more ladylike, but Goku doesn't mind. He offers her an apple, and she treats it like it's the most important gift in the world, and this girl is sick. She needs help. She's like, "Oh my god, you're so nice, you're so funny, you're so fucking strong. I fucking need you, Goku." Meanwhile, back at the wedding, the Pilaf gang need a plan to get the Dragon Ball, and so they try to get them to eat and make Shu say, "Wow, I sure am starving." And he's acting so poorly that Mai and Pilaf literally facepalm and go, "Fuck, this isn't gonna work." But of course, this works. And they start piling in the food. And oh my god, there's this succulent looking pterodactyl. And I am so mad that pterodactyls are extinct because I want to eat this pterodactyl.
Really? I don't know. I feel like a lot of dinosaurs are gonna be like, ever had crocodile or alligator at the state fair here?
Can't say I have.
Okay. Well, they do taste like chicken, like they do say. But
Are they gamey?
they didn't give. I wanted to say it was kind of like that too, but they didn't give me the leather skin either. It was just the inside meat,
No, of course.
I kind of wanted the whole thing.
You want to eat the scale part?
I wanted to experience that, yeah.
Maybe next time.
That's what I expected it to be like, not like an actual bird, you know?
No, it comes out looking like a big fat turkey.
Yeah.
No, I really just want to at least try eating 90% of the food that they have on screen in the show. It always looks good.
Hmm.
In his exuberance, the Ox King pats Shu on the back so hard he goes flying, and the Goku mask comes off. Like, I guess it's plastic.
Before that, Pilaf knows the Dragon Ball is inside
Yes,
the
that's true.
pterodactyl. And he's like, he's like telling Shu, try to ask for the big one. Say you're hungry or something. He's like, oh boy, I sure am starving.
Hmm. And he goes, yeah, but like he secretly says, like, but sir, I'm not actually that hungry. What am I supposed to do? You make room.
And then after that, Ox King is like, oh, we don't need no secrets between father and son. Then that's when he
Yeah.
like shoves him, and the mask comes off.
And like,
And
it's got to
and
be
before he
plastic,
looked,
right?
I want to say it's like plastic. Yeah, it's like something
Because it keeps
thin.
its shape and it clatters on the floor.
Hmm. It would have shattered if it was anything more like rigid and.
And if it was rubber, it wouldn't like make that sound.
Mm, yeah, they're like a flying pig before the Ox King
Oh
notices.
yeah. Yeah, Pilaf tries to distract the Ox King by pointing to the sky, and he goes, "Oh look, a flying pig." This works.
This we're indoors, by the way.
Yes, we're indoors. So many things in this plan happen because they just work. Thankfully, they're able to put the mask back on in the confusion just as Colonel Silver attacks with his tanks.
Oh, but the mask was on backwards.
But they had time to correct it because of the sudden attack.
I think before the attack, when they got it on, she was like, "I sure am starving again." Like he tries to play the part
Oh,
while everyone sees the head is backwards.
yeah, he's like he tries to do the line again. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this is when the tanks start blasting and stuff. Now, for some reason, I thought it was gonna be Goku just flying in like
coming
that.
in hot because he smelled food.
like crashing his own wedding. Because I forgot about the military guys. I thought they were gonna back off because it was the Ox King.
No, they just needed.
That wasn't the case. No, they just needed an opening or something, or just needed to regroup.
They needed a plan, and they needed the right amount of military might. And
Yeah.
the Ox King is furious that they're ruining Chi-Chi's perfect wedding day, and he rushes onto the battlefield with his axe, and he takes a fucking tank shell to the chest, and it just stops him briefly.
Yeah, just a small flinch before he starts hauling ass again towards those tanks.
And I was
after
curious.
that, you just yeah.
I was curious because I'm like, tanks are fucking strong on purpose. And so I looked it up real quick, and if I'm reading everything correctly, a tank generally uses about 3 pounds of explosive to expend a shell. 3 pounds of explosive. So that hit Ox King directly, and he just kept fucking going.
Tanks are strong machinery, man.
Not as strong as the
But
Ox
not like
King.
the Ox King, yeah. As he's just freaking charging after getting shot. You just hear Colonel Silver's like, Neanderthal.
Yeah, he calls him a Neanderthal. And, like,
As
is he wrong? Like, he's going through and he's chopping the tanks. He can dent them with a kick and he can punch it. He topples it over with a shoulder charge. And this guy is just...
in WrestleMania with these things.
He should have been in the tournament. Are you kidding me? That's when Colonel Silver pulls out his bazooka and he blasts him with some pink slime in the face to blind him.
Mm-hmm. Pretty smart.
Ox King, my
Ox
guy.
King could have,
You're wearing a helmet with goggles on it. Take it off. This works. No. It all happens pretty fast. I'll give him that.
I always just thought it was just, what if he takes it off and he's just not the Ox King no more?
I need my helmet on, otherwise I'm not... If I'm not the Ox King, then who am I? And then he gets into an existential crisis.
I don't know.
Am I even a king? Am I even an ox? You were never an ox!
The cowman.
The cowman. He's ensnared by a net, which lets Colonel Silver name drop the villainous force of this arc when he says, "Never tangle with the Red Ribbon Army."
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the arc villains. The entire fucking army is the villain. Pilaf actually manages to find the Dragon Ball and get back to his ship before Silver could get to him. He legitimately earned this ball. He put in the work, he stole it, and he made it back to his home base. This is his ball. Meanwhile, Chi-Chi is telling Goku that when they get married, she wants to have a big family with lots of kids. But Goku was asleep for the whole thing. So she slaps him again. And not in a mean way, in a teasing way. It's like cute stuff. But like...
That shit still hurt.
Yeah! Chi-Chi is strong. And they see smoke coming from the village, and the two of them start racing back to see what's going on, which ends this episode on a cliffhanger. And I actually liked this episode more than the previous ones, but I think this worked more because we had characters that we knew and that were already established, so we don't have to spend the time like, oh, who's this? We gotta introduce them. We gotta work with them for a little bit before we're comfortable. Mm-hmm. Hard to say, right now at least, but as of right now, I think this one might have been my favorite episode of the group.
Okay.
But I always like figuring out, where these things are placed in my head and hearing what you have to say every episode, because you kind of go like, oh, no, I really like this one. I'm like, huh, all right. We like different things in the episode, so.
It shows different perspectives.
Yeah.
I like this episode, but it was just purely because it was just dumb.
You get a lot of good shit. You get shenanigans with Pilaf. You get Ox King being a dumbass. You get Chi-Chi being like cute and strong, and Goku being completely oblivious. It's the whole package.
Yeah, my mom left after the first episode that we watched for this set, but after she came back for just to grab something,
mm-hmm.
She saw Chi-Chi all love-struck and stuff, and my mom was like, "Ugh, ugh, what the hell?"
She looks like an ox. Oh, you're not wrong, Mom.
Not because of like how Chi-Chi looked; it was just how she was acting all gushy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little too gushy for her taste, I guess.
Episode 31 ends on a cliffhanger, leading directly into episode 32, The Flying Fortress Vanished. And after getting a recap, our final episode this week picks up where we left off. Goku and Chi-Chi coming back to the village, only to have Pilaf's Death Star escape, which knocks them both off the Nimbus. And I guess you can just grab the Nimbus?
Apparently.
It has this little tail thing that Goku grabs onto to save themselves, and I never thought of that being a possibility. It always just comes in to save them, usually. Mm-hmm. They climb back up, and are like, well, at least we're safe now, and then almost immediately are hit by Colonel Silver's jet. And I love it when they say one thing, and then the exact opposite happens. Like, oh, we're safe now. We're not safe.
And the second time they fall is like, he's hanging on, but Chi-Chi's hanging on to something else.
Chi-Chi's got him by the tail.
Yeah, it's got him by the tail as usual. It's always Chi-Chi grabbing onto the tail, too.
But this also proves that it's still his weakness.
Yeah.
It came back stronger, he said, but, he still loses his strength, and he falls off the Nimbus, but the Nimbus is able to catch them before they fall.
Mm-hmm.
Pilaf and the gang are still being chased by Colonel Silver, and he really does seem to have some sort of military expertise. He's got this tactical know-how to stay at a safe distance so they can't be targeted by their weapons, commands his men, has all this equipment, and I wonder how well he'd do if he didn't have to deal with, Goku and Pilaf shenanigans. In an actual setting, is he really super competent? Would he be the most dangerous character if he didn't have to deal with jokesters?
I would say so. I think if Silver had Mai on the team, I think they'd be pretty strong together.
Ooh, a Silver Mai team up.
Yeah.
Hold on, I just gotta check something real quick, see if anyone's made any fan fiction. In what I see as a design flaw, we see that soldiers can push a button on the side of their tank to compact it into a dino cap. But,
I did see that. I didn't think too much about that though.
What's to stop an enemy from doing that on the battlefield? What if a man was
Hmm.
still inside? Would they also shrink down into storage? Would
Oh
they be
God, that sounds
mangled?
horrible. That would be horrible. But
What
then
can and
again,
can't be stored?
I think this is a taboo topic we're talking about here.
We're not supposed to talk about the human trade in Dragon Ball world.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be pretty hard because trying to get close to a tank in any kind of video game is already pretty hard in itself too. Unless you're hella fast like Goku, and maybe just a straight up Neanderthal like the Ox King.
Well, I was thinking
Because
more along the lines of the capsule technology itself. Like, if you were to think too deeply about it, do you think that there is a smuggling operation going on in Dragon Ball world where they're transporting people in these
oh yeah,
capsules?
if the world is as cruel as it is, how cruel Goku's universe can be, yeah, I would say yeah,
I think
it
that's a
would be there.
possibility. I think that
That's a
is a thing that can
possibility.
happen. Maybe they'll say
Um,
something later on though that'll be like, "Oh, you can't transport living people. That just won't work."
yeah, they probably like get kicked out. It's kind of like in a video game where you try to compact something and your character just teleports out of that vehicle.
You know what? Maybe like I can totally see that happening where a character's flying a plane and they push a button to transport it into a capsule and they do the Wile E. Coyote thing where they're still like moving at the same speed through the air and then they realize like, "Oh shit, I'm not in the plane anymore," and then they fall. Like I
Yeah,
can see that
I get
totally
that.
happening in Dragon Ball.
But for some reason, I keep thinking of these capsules between two things: a transformer
Yep.
or a Pokeball.
I honestly believe that Pokemon might have gotten inspiration from Dragon Ball in terms of their Pokeballs.
Oh, really? Okay. Because you can put stuff in it to store it,
Hmm.
like a Pokeball. But sometimes I always feel like with the noises these capsules make, it sounds like it's like transforming into that vehicle too.
They do kind of have like a. I get that it's supposed to be like smoke dissipating sound effect, but it's a very mechanical like kind of
Yeah.
sound.
So that's how I kind of see them, but I kind of feel like it's more of a Pokeball, of course, because you know with the things that they've already put in there, like
Hmm.
water, food, vehicles.
I think it is more like a Pokeball, but I can see where you would hear that mechanical nature to it.
Yeah. So that's what I think.
Hmm.
I wish I just really like. I remember that one scene where Bulma goes by some of the capsules, and they came in different styles.
Yep, they came in
I
different
really like
sizes,
that.
and
Sizes, shapes. Hmm.
she had like the purse or whatever that she opened up, and that had all the different colors and stuff.
Now, I really like that. I I really like little knickknacks sometimes, like Bakugans.
Hmm.
Just kind of, I like to stay practical, but I just can't help myself from liking these useless stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I would like to start up a collection. There's this one I think I've mentioned already on this series, this podcast, where they're not balls like Bakugan, but they're square, but they
Yeah.
also transform. Yeah.
Hold up, I want to look up something real quick.
Okay.
Oh hell yeah! uh, they do make keychains that look like the capsules.
Oh, they do.
They do make keychains.
Can you send that to me? I would like to see. Is this made by like? Is this like official merch, or is this made like on Etsy or?
Looks like Hot Topic, but they're sold out.
Interesting. I would like to at least see what they are.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture.
I still have that Kimmy doll from that last place that we worked at.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's really. I would like that. I always So most of the small little knickknacks I like to keep. I try to
Hmm.
keep them small, at least to like keychains, because I like to put keychains on my stuff. For example, my keys, each of my bag, showing which bag is meant for what. For example, like I don't know, for
If you had like a
traveling, for
work bag,
EDC,
yeah.
work bag, school bag. Yeah, I like to label my bags like that with keychains. And I really like this. The one he just sent me, Alex just sent me, is a red keychain where the capsule on top, it looks like a pill,
Hmm.
where half of it is red and the other is white. I like this one.
And it looks like it comes in different colors too. But yeah,
Okay.
like it looks to be sold out. But maybe we can find it. Maybe we can find a couple other places that would sell it. If anyone wants to send some my way, that'd be cool too. Chi-Chi gets into the fray and throws her blade crest thing at one of the soldiers as he goes to pick up his tank capsule, and he says, "Hey, what was that for?" And I'm like, "Bro, you just drove a tank through the village. This one's
Like,
kind of on you."
yeah.
The soldiers claim that they don't like Chi-Chi's tone of voice, and several of them pull guns on her. Unlike the Ox King, Chi-Chi just appears to be a regular little girl, so these dudes were all ready to smoke this child.
They were ready.
Mm-hmm.
These guys were meant for war. Oh, jeez.
They're ready to commit war crimes.
Yeah.
Goku leaps into action and kicks their guns away, and we get a splash screen, kind of like the old Batman show. And the sound effect this time is gun.
Yeah.
I was like,
I
yeah.
wasn't ready for that.
Goku's easily able to take these fools out, but we also get to see how Chi-Chi handles things, where she panics and starts throwing her head crest blade and rapidly blasting her dinosaur disintegration beam at the soldiers while crying.
I was ready to see body parts.
Well, I mean, after she cut the dinosaur head off and then vaporized its body.
I was ready to see blood and body parts fly everywhere when she started that.
Listen, either she missed literally every shot, or the dinosaur disintegration beam vaporized some of them so finely that we can't even see them. Because when the camera pulls out, there's a pile of bodies. At least 10. I think Chi-Chi's stronger than she looks. I think
I
that she's
think
got
so
Ox King
too.
strength.
If she were to train, I think she'd be unstoppable. And I wanted to ask this question earlier about Chi-Chi. Does she eventually ever fight in
Chi-Chi
like
does get
Dragon Ball?
into Chi-Chi does get into at least one fight that I can think of.
Okay.
And in Dragon Ball Z, in one of the movies, she also gets into a fight.
Okay. Because I was like, huh, she either fights, keeps fighting in the later in the series, or she after marriage she just I don't know, just retires or something. Just quits the fighting life.
Akira Toriyama has a pretty bad track record of here's a female character who is competent in a fight, and then they get married and then they settle down. Like they become extremely domestic.
Okay.
So don't get your hopes up too much after they get married.
Does Bulma still shoot children after she gets married?
You know what? She actually Bulma's pretty good. Bulma's pretty good throughout the entire series. So
Okay.
it's a good question though.
Okay.
Speaking of the Ox King's strength, he breaks free from the net by himself, which gives the Red Ribbon Army time to escape and chase after Pilaf. While they're flying, they fly into some fog and somehow lose them? Like, this is a giant sphere. How did this happen? Either way, they dip up from behind in one of the clouds, and they load up literally every weapon that they have, and some real goofy music starts playing. I recognize the instrument as a mouth harp, and it makes this boing kind of sound, and it's perfect for danger shenanigans, I call it.
Let me see. Let me search up this instrument.
The mouth harp. You literally hold it in your mouth, and then there's a little metal rod that you flick with your finger,
Oh, I've seen
and
this before on Instagram.
yep.
I've seen this.
And yeah, it goes like bang, 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 bang. It's a very silly sounding instrument, in my opinion.
Okay.
They unload everything they've got, and I am surprised how long this jet stays in the air before getting shot down. Like, I get the feeling that Toriyama likes aerial dogfights in movies and stuff, because like they pull some evasive maneuvers and they last for about 30 seconds.
These are good, like evasive maneuvers. These aren't like the typical type of maneuvers you'll see with the cloud.
Hmm.
where Goku's just cutting corners immediately at full speed. No, the plane's actually like doing some pretty cool moves.
Yeah, that's why I was like, did he watch some movies or whatever? Did something come out around the time that he was making this? That was there a popular war movie? Because it looks real good, and they're dodging fire left and right, and eventually they get shot and they go down. But still, while trying to figure out who the Red Ribbon Army is, Ox King says literally anyone might have attacked him. He's made a lot of enemies because he used to be a bad man. He apologizes to Goku and Chi-Chi for their party being ruined, but Goku has no idea what the hell he's talking about.
Hmm. No one told him, and Chi-Chi has the audacity to be like, "How dare you not know?"
Well, you see, no one's figured out that there was a Sussy Baka imposter. Since they still had food left over, Goku naturally just starts pigging out, and he's eating at a lightning pace. But unlike most people, Ox King and Chi-Chi don't seem surprised by it at all. I guess they're just like, oh yeah, we're warriors, we have to eat. Goku suspects that whoever attacked Ox King was after the Dragon Ball, and decides to give chase. And Chi-Chi tries to stop him like, bro, the wedding? And I love Goku's response of like, I'll try some of that next time. And then he just bails on his own wedding. Chi-Chi chases after him as he flies away and says, Goku, a wedding isn't food.
I'm glad that Chi-Chi was able to like understand what Goku knows and doesn't know.
Goku's so fucking dumb. In a way that's endearing. While Colonel Silver searches for the Dragon Ball. By the way, Colonel Silver is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
He gets help from the home base from a very butlery looking black dude. This character is important, so I want you to try to guess his name. For fun. Just try to guess his name. Gustav. His name is Staff Officer Black.
Okay, then.
It was the 80s. It was a different time.
Oh, God.
Silver can't find the Dragon Ball, and there's no sign of Pilaf's ship, but the radar is accurate, so they start digging in the sand, and the desert starts to swallow up some of his soldiers, and they fall in a trap room, where it's revealed that Pilaf buried his ship in the desert that quickly after losing Silver. I was like, how did he get that entire thing in there?
I can see that. If the whole thing is like soft sand, at least, you know? I've seen animals, they just
Get slooped
like
up in there.
yeah, I don't know how to explain it in a way, but if they like vibrate and kind of just
Or if they
shove
struggle
the
or
sand to the
whatever.
side, yeah, they just burrow. It just burrows on top, and the sand just kind of just goes on top.
I see. Okay, yeah, maybe. I see.
But I really can't see that working with this
This is very
Death
large Death
Star.
Star. Goku arrives on the scene and is also pondering about his own radar, but I find it funny that Bulma's Dragon Radar is far superior to the Red Ribbon Armies or Pilaf's. Every time they zero in on a Dragon Ball, it's always within 1 mile of that location, while Bulma's
Mhm.
is much more precise. Like, I'm willing to bet that she made this herself out of, like, spare parts, and these two large organizations can't make it work.
No, Bulma's just really good with the machines that she's got.
That's
I
kind
wonder
of
where she buys if she makes her weapons, if she buys her guns, or if she makes her gun or her own guns.
Bulma, I believe, makes pretty much everything. Her dad, which I believe we will meet in this show,
Okay.
maybe not, I don't quite remember. But her dad owns the Capsule Corporation.
What? Really?
Yeah, her dad owns the Capsule Corporation, so she's got access to all this technology and the resources to build stuff. So yeah, she invents things. That's what she likes to do.
Wow.
So yeah, she made this Dragon Radar herself, and she makes a lot of other things. In Dragon Ball Z, she makes a time machine. Okay, so like,
Okay. I think that says plenty.
Yep. Goku perks up when Pilaf spies on him with a camera designed as a cactus. and he runs over directly in front of it and pees on it.
Did you
Yes,
see?
we
Did you
are
see
back
the-
at it.
Did you see the animation of Goku running?
Yep.
It reminded me of like they just kept the shape of Goku's and they just moved it
Yep.
per frame.
Yep.
They didn't like add him like moving the legs or swinging his arms. It's like a South Park thing where
Yeah. Sir, we ran out of money. How many pictures do we have? Just one. Move it up and down. Silver's planes fly overhead, which gets the attention of Pilaf's guns, and another shootout ensues. Goku just digs up some rocks and just crumples these guns. Like, things just work in this set of episodes, and I kind of feel like you most of the time, where I just started going, sure, yeah, alright. I just had to move on because there was so much happening.
yeah, sometimes you enjoy it when you don't ask questions. But when it's time at least for me, when it's time to ask questions, I think it's gonna mean something at least.
Oh, yeah. Goku crushes a bunch of these guns, but is eventually swallowed up and captured like the other members of the Red Ribbon Army.
Oh, I'll tell you right now, when I saw them get swallowed up in the sand, that was horrifying.
You know, as a kid, I always thought that I would experience quicksand more often.
I wasn't thinking of quicksand. I've experienced quicksand before, but it wasn't like super dangerous because it wasn't that deep. I was thinking more of there was this one movie I watched as a kid. It was like a worm in the desert, and it would
Dune?
eat people. Was it that one?
Worm in the desert that eats people?
Yeah, and there's this one
Or
specific
wait, are you
scene-
talking about Tremors?
Let me see.
Was it on Earth?
I think it was Tremors.
Tremors is on Earth, and there's a worm that's
It was on Earth.
Yeah,
and there
okay,
was
so
this
it's
one
Tremors.
specific scene where they had to jump on a car so that the
Yep.
worm couldn't feel the vibrations.
Yep.
Okay, I watched this as a kid. The worm itself wasn't scary. It's just the idea of like just getting swallowed up on hard surface was terrifying. Yeah.
Ooh. Sorry, I got distracted by thinking about Tremors.
Okay. But anyways, that was like the scariest scene in my opinion, at least in all Dragon Ball, because at this point I kind of forgot that they were that Pilaf was underground, and suddenly I just start seeing the soldiers just start. It didn't look like they were getting sinking from quicksand. It looked like something was grabbing them.
Yeah,
which
they, like,
which
get
was
pulled in.
happening. They were getting pulled in. Yeah.
And now Goku is also swallowed up and captured, and Pilaf has him trapped in a small room and has him square up against that funny jumping robot suit thing from the earlier episode.
It's like, hey, you're the one that stole all the Dragon Balls from last time.
You're the monster. And I'm like, yeah, Goku remembers.
And I like how they like did that little circling that they did before they fought.
You know, they're kind of squaring up a little bit. And in a single blow, Goku just slings out a Kamehameha wave and destroys both it and the wall behind it, letting him escape. Goku is now so strong, this shit don't mean nothing to him. And now it's just a war zone, because now Silver has his reinforcements, and everyone's shooting everyone else, and they're dropping bombs. And once all the guns are destroyed, Shu asks, "Should we retreat, sire?" And Pilaf says, "What a stupid question. Of course we should."
That one, I agreed a lot with Pilaf there.
And they start escaping, and then they bump into Goku. And they try to trap him like they did with the when they had their old castle and they were changing the hallways around with the walls. But Goku's just like, no sweat, and barges through them like he was the Juggernaut.
I thought he was gonna Kamehameha all the walls. No, he literally just runs through them. he no effort. Like it was like a frame by frame where it's like wall, no wall.
Yeah, like it was made out of paper. Like Goku is fucking pissed. He thinks that like they have the Dragon Ball. He thinks, you know,
This is
he
the
doesn't
most
like these
frustrated
guys.
I've seen Goku with like any group of people.
And he's got a full stomach right now. You know, he is unstoppable.
Yeah.
And just as they launch the Death Star, Goku latches like to the underside of it. And it's really funny because as it's lifting up, you can see his tiny little body clinging onto it from the bottom. And they don't get very far because, like, they have the entire army there to shoot them down. And I'm sitting here like, guys, there are 6 other Dragon Balls left to find. Manage your resources a little better.
No, they're just full sending with this Dragon Ball right here.
Zerg Rush.
Because this is the start. I think this is the early game. You got to get as much as you can.
Well, Pilaf had the plan during the last hunt for the Dragon Balls where he was just like, you know what, fine, they collect all the Dragon Balls, but I'll just steal them from him at the very end.
Yeah.
Which worked.
Yeah. What I meant by almost worked by was he almost got his wish.
Yeah. And, if you let Pilaf collect the balls, save for one, and you force him to come to you, Pilaf is a fucking dolt. Let him bring the balls to you. But that's just my plan. I'm not running the Red Ribbon Army. The entire army makes the Death Star explode, and it straight up shows Goku being trapped in the blast while he desperately calls for the Nimbus, which is pretty fucked up for this show.
I was thinking, like, how hard would it be to steal the Dragon Balls from Silver?
It would be harder for Pilaf to steal from Silver than it would be for Silver to steal from Pilaf. I guarantee that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if Goku was to try to take the Dragon Ball from Silver, I'm sure Goku, if he kept going, he would eventually get it. But yeah. I wonder what kind of military they got backing them up. Did they got a mech? Did they got rockets? I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see what they got. What kind of military power they got stored.
Well, I've got some good news for you. The name of this arc is called the Red Ribbon Arc.
Oh.
So, I think you might see what the army has to offer.
Nice. I'm looking forward to it.
Also, remember, the name of this episode is called The Flying Fortress Vanished. And, well, I suppose blowing it to smithereens is vanishing, in a sense. The Pilaf gang escapes in parachutes, but as they make it to the ground, they find all of the army's ground forces waiting for them.
That was the coolest thing.
They're like, oh, don't worry, we're safe. They're all in their planes. And literally everyone else is there on the ground.
Guns ready, knowing where Silver's going to land.
Yep.
And the moment Pilaf Shuin might land, no word was spoken. All you see is Colonel Silver taking his hand out with his palm, expecting something to be put there. And Pilaf just kind of grudges and just puts the Dragon Ball in his hand.
I just have written down, this works. There's a lot of that in this episode, but Colonel Silver, when he just rolls up, he's smug as a motherfucker, and he puts out his hand. And Pilaf doesn't have jack shit.
No.
This worked.
That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. What a way to end off that episode. This whole set, even. It had a lot to swallow, though. Like, it felt like a mini arc in and of itself, where they wanted to touch base with old characters, meet new ones, set up, and destroy Pilaf's Death Star. And I think for the time that they gave us to do all those things, it was a little much. Like I said, what really did Yamcha and Bulma do in this episode, or in this set of episodes? Absolutely nothing. So, like, maybe you could have cut that out, and maybe you could have spaced a little bit of this out, just a little bit. But I still enjoyed it. I know I made it sound like I complained about this set a little more than usual, but I still enjoyed it.
It was probably just to make it more efficient in the way of how they do things. Mm-hmm. I do have a little bit of questions outside of the series itself, but more about the production. Mm-hmm. I don't actually know how animators are paid, or how they manage their
budget.
Their budget, yeah. Because I remember seeing a Fate series where they jokingly put all the budget towards animations, all like 60. Like 100 frames per second for one of the characters, and then the next episode There's like no color. There's no frames. They're like, guys, what happened? It's like, it's because you blew all the damn budget from the last episode.
I think I saw a Gintama episode like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. So,
They like, oh, we ran out of money, so all the animators left, and they're like, but we have to start the show. Looks like you're gonna have to do the intro, and it's like he drew it all in MS Paint.
yeah. So I was wondering how they like rate animators because it's hard to rate it if they do it hourly, right?
So Japan is notoriously bad at paying their animators. Like
Okay.
I don't remember the exact way that they're paid, but I do know that they're very stingy about it. And so oftentimes if you see an animation or a cartoon that has poor animation, it's not necessarily the fault of the animators. They might just not have been given the proper time or budget to work on these things.
Mm-hmm. And I can see that.
In the modern day, you have like Blu-rays and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and what they'll do is oh, we've got to get this episode out this week. If it looks bad, it looks bad. We'll clean it up for the Blu-rays.
I see.
So they'll go back and they'll redo it.
I don't know how I feel about that because it's like how some video games came out pretty trash,
Mm-hmm.
and then they just patch it later. For example, GTA the trilogy.
The trilogy,
Yeah.
the trilogy.
Yeah.
What the hell is trilogy?
Sorry, I was eating chocolate as well. But like that was
That's
I don't
still
know how
bad.
it is now.
That's
Yeah.
still bad.
Um,
If you asked B would say that Fallout 76 started off in a virtually unplayable state, but now it's still very buggy, but a lot more content is in it, so it's worth playing.
Okay. I'm not being obnoxious with the mic. Like you can't hear
You're
me,
eating
right?
chocolate. We're almost done.
Oh, you can hear it? Okay. But yeah, dang, I don't know how I feel about that because that's kind of the sense I get from what you told me about how just cleaning it up later.
Mhm.
Because aren't they kind of like trying to sell the series full price
What?
and then charging you again?
Well, if you
the
watch
same
it on
price?
TV, technically it's free, but like what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you to buy the
Oh,
Blu-rays, and so they'll be like, "Oh, okay, buy the Blu-ray. We cleaned it up. We made it better."
I completely forgot TV was a thing.
No, I just remember in part 4 of JoJo's, there were some pretty rough episodes. And if you do a comparison of the Blu-ray to the original, like TV airing, it's like night and day. Like it's that bad.
Wow. Wow.
Well, let's finish up Dragon Ball, shall we?
Yeah.
I felt that they were moving a mile a minute through these episodes. Not that that's a bad thing. It's just it felt a little rushed for my tastes. But like I said, I know that going forward, there's going to be more stuff that I really do like. A lot of good character stuff, a lot of good action sequences, and a lot of goofy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm crazy about it going too fast, but I mean, what did you think about this set as a whole?
Kind of generic. I really like them. I didn't dislike them, but they didn't have a lot of the stuff that I would usually laugh at.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that would catch me off guard.
Mm-hmm.
But what I really did appreciate in these set of episodes was the settings.
True.
I really like checking out Nam's village, the river that leads up to the mountain where it's like flourishing and in greens.
Girin lives there, and
And Girin lives there. That shows where he lives. Shows where Nam lives.
neighbors, actually.
Yeah, pretty, not too far, I'd say. And then we go to the town with the scummy, scummy store clerk.
I'm glad he's
And you
dead.
said you really liked that area. You said it was a very like cowboyish kind of deal.
It's a desert mesa with cactuses and adobe houses and stuff like that. So
But I think other than the setting, I really like the addition to the Red Ribbon organization.
I think that that's the part about this that makes me the most excited is we're going to be delving deeper into the Red Ribbon Army in some pretty cool ways.
Because as I mentioned before, they bring something different to the table now because they are pretty no nonsense. They're really calculate everything that they do, and they get work done. As you can see, they got the first Dragon Ball.
Yep. Not even not even Goku was able to get a Dragon Ball.
Mm-mm.
in this whole set.
Goku was he's kind of doing the wild goose chase in a way as well.
Hmm.
Kind of led on, but I would say, yeah, I liked it, but I don't think I laughed as much as I did previously.
I think out of every set that we've done, so this is going to be episode 8.
Mm-hmm.
This might be my least favorite one,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not to say that the quality was bad. It's just the other ones are so good and so well paced that this one, just by virtue of being good, means that it's like not as great as the other ones.
Mm-hmm. I think they were just trying to set the mood,
Yeah.
at least with this new group. They're trying to have us understand that these guys are serious. They shouldn't be messed with. Of course, we already know how Pilaf is with him and his gang. We already know how Goku is and how he solves problems.
Mm-hmm.
Either he'll just bunga it or be very clever. For example, with the pole, he extends it.
Mm-hmm.
Or
And
just use his nose.
yeah, you said that it's a little more serious with the red ribbon, but at the same time, we're kind of back to being a little more goofy with Pilaf and his goons, and how Goku does things like that. But it's a good mix, I think.
Yeah, because if it was just Goku and Pilaf, it would have been the same thing again with what we watched in like the first arc.
Mm-hmm. So next week we have 4 more episodes. Episode 33, which is The Legend of a Dragon, through episode 36, Major Metallatron, which is a name that I do recognize and remember, so that's a better sign for the next set for me. Like, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's right, Major Metallatron, all right. Do you have any other thoughts before we end this one out?
No, I kind of just let out all of it. It
Yeah.
wasn't too much. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to thank everyone again for tuning in this week. I really do appreciate you joining us as we go through our mystical adventure that is Dragon Ball, on our mystical show that is Goku or Go Home.
Go home.
Phoup,
Yes, sir.
would you please, since you are contractually obligated, sign us off with a word from our other sponsor?
Let me look around the room. Let's see, what do we got here?
We have. I sent you the email. We have a sponsor. It's hold up, Mr. Clean's asshole bleach. Phoup, you have to talk about the asshole bleach.